Hello guys, no, your eyes are not fooling you. This is the Airfix Hellcat 1/24 Grumman F6F-5 Hellcat, and this is going to be part 7, and it's only 18 months since I last picked this model up, and this is the FAA version. This is the one I'm doing with the wings folded, everything closed up. The US Navy version I've still got behind me in the box. That one hasn't gone anywhere. That one's going to be built all opened up, so all the engine cowlings, guns, everything, wings extended, everything will be exposed, and I've got barrels and everything for that one as well. So if you remember, if you look back at the other videos, you'll see I've added all the detail inside the fuselage. I've got all the control cables in there, and we've got the beautiful air scale cockpit in there. Everything's all done. HGW seat belts. It really is nice. Now this one, I'm gonna do. I can't even remember how I was gonna do it, but I've decided I'm gonna build this pretty much out the box. So I'm gonna use the kit cockpit. I'm gonna use the kit decals in the cockpit. I've got some harnesses. These are the RB Productions Sutton QK harness. I'm going to use a Sutton harness in here. A lot of people will argue that that's incorrect. I have got now 2 photographs thanks to he should remain nameless actually. A gentleman has sent me some pictures, some information, and I've also got pictures myself, and they are definitely Sutton harnesses in these aircraft. So we're going to use the Sutton harness in there. I'm not going to use the plastic kit harnesses because that entails using the parachute seat pad, which I don't want to use because it's a bit much for 24 scale. It's beautifully molded, but I don't want to use it with the molded on seat belts. So I'm going to be using no seat belts, no seat cushions. So it's just going to have the seat like that with the Sutton harnesses in there. I've done no real super detailing on here. There's been a little bit of thinning out. This cover that goes on here is thinned out on the edges, which makes it look much better. And also I've got the, if I can show you close up, anything you're not sure of, you can see it there because I haven't quite got the primer on there, but I've got tape, 2 lots of masking tape around these fuel fillers, and they improve the look of the pipes. Although when it's all in there you can't see any of it anyway. So, but I'm not going to be doing any more super detailing on this. I'll just do some nice building, some thinning out sections. In the last part, in part 6, we looked at how to make these gun barrels removable, so go back and have a look at that if you haven't already seen it. And I've literally just primed all this in black. I've had to glue all this side into the starboard side of the fuselage, and I've given it a coat of black primer, and I used this one, the ammo, the MiG one-shot primer, which is now starting to get a bit thick. If someone can tell me what I can thin it with, I'd be ever so grateful. I have used Mr. Colour leveling thinners with that primer a couple of times and had success. The last time I used it, it turned into cottage cheese, so I don't know what's going on. If you can let me know, I'd be grateful. So what I need to do now is get this cockpit all painted green, and then we can get on and do some detail painting, putting some decals on with gloss coats and stuff like that. So let me get on and get that done, and then I'll be back. Right, so there's the green on there, and for that I've used Hobby Colour H58, which is, I think, the best match for US interior green. However, having built one of these already, I know that when you look in the cockpit it is like a big black hole, and it's very, very dark. So I'm going to lighten it up. Now this colour here, this is AK Real Colour 262, and these are my favourite paints. Now this colour I think is too light. If you compare the two, if you look at how light that is compared to that one, you can see it's a lot lighter. And they call it US Interior Yellow Green. Well, I don't know if they're trying to do zinc chromate, but it's sort of too dark for that. But for the cockpit it's too light. Now I know that these colours changed because they were a mixture of different paints anyway, so no 2 aircraft would have been the same. But you know, the representation we're trying to look for here is to get the detail to pop out. So what I'm going to do now we've got this dark area, I'm going to go in all the areas that are open and shade in with this lighter colour. And then once that's dry, we'll dry brush it with this colour, and it's really going to pop. You wait and see. So let me get that done, and then I'll be back after that's done. There we go. Under this LED light, the effect I'm seeing on the camera is a lot more intense than the actual effect in real life. So it's sort of really making it pop. But you can see what I've done there. I've got the highlighted areas now. So when you look down inside the cockpit, which is so dark, Not sure really get the effect here, but it's so dark down in there. It sort of makes it all stand out. If I'd have realised this when I did the other one, I would have done that. But haven't made too much fuss about the top here because we've got to add some detail on that edge if the canopy is open anyway, but I don't know if it's going to be open or not. So there we go. Now I'm going to need to let that dry, and in the meantime look for something else we can get on with. Okay, so parts are all painted now, cockpit parts are painted, sat to one side waiting to dry. So let's have a look through the manual, see what else we can do to A, make a video, and B, get this thing built. So all this is done. I'm going to go through the instructions and just sort of talk out loud so that you know what's done and where I've been. In case you haven't seen, if you're new to this, then you may just be picking this up. You don't know what's already done. So all of this is done. This here I'm not going to be bothering with because I don't need to put any of that in there because the fuselage is going to be all closed up and you're not going to see anything in the back. I would be putting one of my resin dummy fuel tanks in here, but I'm not going to because that hatch won't be open. So we've got them in the wings, in the wing roots. I'm not going to do any of the radios. I'm not going to work on the instrument panel at the moment. I just need to refresh my mind with this. I'm not using the AirScale stuff, obviously, so I need to be using the kit decals. And obviously, because they're black, these instrument panels are clear, and then you're putting decals on them, and I don't know why. They're not the reverse decals like they had on the other kits, so don't really know why we're going there with that one, but never mind, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. This is all done. Not bothering with that. Not bothering with that. I will be putting a tank on it because the FAA had the image I've got of one on aircraft carrier. They had a tank on it, so don't know about bombs or anything. I've got to look that up yet. So this is for all types assembling the fuselage. So we haven't done that yet, but we can't do that until the cockpit's done. Now this symbol up here is showing us for the in-flight version. It's funny that Airfix give you an in-flight version and then don't offer you a cockpit, a pilot figure, or a stand. So we're not going to worry about that. So here we are. This is for the undercarriage down version. So we've done all that. That's all here. We've got all that done. I've replaced those plastic lumps with some detail wire. If you look in there, got the detail wire in there, which is going to look nice with the wings folded. And then we've added in the the actuators for the flaps. On the other one they're going to be down because I'll have it all open, everything down. We've done all this here, all this framework inside for the guns. We're not going to be drilling out the wings because I don't think I'm going to be putting those rockets on there. Here's the wings here. There's that one. There's that one there all done. You can see I've put some black primer on there. Guns are in there. That was all done in part 6. We've got all the spars in and everything. Yeah, I haven't done these yet. These are the actuators for the ailerons. So I haven't done them yet, so I need to do them. So we'll get on and get them done. And then I haven't got these for the other wing. I've got the other wing built up as well. So this is going to be for wings open, so we're not going to be doing that one. Again, this is wings open. We're not going to be doing that one. We're not going to be doing that one. Here we go, wings folded. So here we are. We've got this sat that way up. We've added that end plate in there. That's in. And then we're adding the wing tops on. That's already done. And then all of this here. So none of this from here onwards is done at all. So there we go. I'm not adding any ammo boxes into the wings. There's no point. I'll keep them as spares because I'm having the covers closed anyway. So we'll keep those lovely ammo boxes as spares. Remember, we've got a P47 in 24 scale, so that may take the same ammo boxes. I don't know. I very much doubt it. But yeah, so we're going to finish off these wings with the flaps and ailerons, and then it's a case of bolting all this together to the fuselage. So we're really going to be pushing on now once we get that cockpit done. And then it looks like we're onto the engine. Here's the engine here, which is got one of my resin engines. This is one of my early days resin engine cores on there. So these are still available should you want one. Basically the kit parts, you put these two together and they end up like an oval, and they're a right mess. So I've made these resin engine cores so you can basically put it all together in one like that instead of having it having to assemble all this. The only big thing you need to watch for with this is you change your build sequence, and what you do is you do not, this here, step 167, do not do that. Okay, do not do 167 until after you have done 194. Okay, so after, well, you're not going to do 194 because that part there is already, these two parts here and that part is already molded in, so you don't need to worry about that. But once you've finished 192, once you've done step 192, then you put that rear gearbox on. It just goes on there. You've got the lug and everything for it to fit in. But basically, if you've got my resin engine core, do not put that rear gearbox on, otherwise you won't be able to get this bulkhead, this part here, you won't be able to get that over. So something to remember. Only one person has made that mistake so far. I've only had one email from one person that says I can't get that cover over, and I said, oh, you glued the gearbox on. Luckily, being that it's resin and super glue, it's easy to break away. So anyway, I'm waffling now. So what we're going to do, we're going to get these actuators in the wings, these aileron actuators. There we go. We've got the G there for the what's that? That's the that's the starboard wing. So we've got G for the starboard, and then we've got H for the port. So I'll get the bits off the sprues and we'll get them glued in. Now I may be talking out of turn here because the kit's been out for so long and people already know this, but just something to watch for here that might catch you out. As you can see on here, we've got 23, 24, 25 with prefix G for the starboard wing, and then we've got H23, H24, H25 for the port wing. And the parts are actually even, if you look on the sprues, okay, here, they're even fitted on the same, in the same way. And you've got 23, 24, 25. And also what you see is on the parts, they've got dots on them. You can see we've got 1 dot, 2 dots, and 3 dots. Okay. Alright, so when you actually look at the instructions, if you've cut all the parts off, you think, oh no, which was which? You might think that because the H25 is 3 dots, you may think that the G25 is 3 dots, but it's not. It's the other way around. So because the dots go on the outside, you can't see them. So I've marked the instructions here. So on the starboard wing, the 23 is the 3 dots that it comes in, so it's 3, 2, 1 in, and it's 25 with the 3 dots here, so it's 3, 2, 1 in. So just basically think of the pilot counting outwards, 1, 2, 3 and you'll be right then. So that's it. So I'm going to just check I'm going the right way up. Make sure I get them in the right way up, should I say. And yeah, I better check I get the let me have a look at the instructions again. Duh. Where is it? The trouble with these big kits, the instructions are massive. It's going to be here. There we go. So they go hooked down towards the bottom. So they're going to go this way round. So it's 1, 2, 3 counting outwards. So this is number 3. So that one's going to go in there. That's a really secure sliding fit in there. And this one's number 2. So that one's going to go in there like that. God, that needs cleaning out a bit. Whoops, I just dropped that one. So we'll just get in here with a knife and just give it a quick. There's probably some flash in there. Just give it a bit of a relief. Because we all like a bit of relief, don't we? There we go, that's that one in there. And then this one's going to go in here. This is number 1, yeah? Yeah. And again, that's a bit too tight. I don't want to snap it when I push it in. Whoops, that's upside down, you knobhead. Right. There we go. So I'm just going to find something with a blunt end on it that I can just nudge them in with, just to make sure they are right in home. There we go. God, they are a good fit. Wow. Maybe a little too good, to be honest. And there we go. So that's them in there. So I'm going to grab my Tamiya extra thin. We just put a drop in there, and a drop in there. And then once the glue's in there, it kind of, I know this is a crazy thing to say, but it almost acts as a kind of lubricant, and it allows the parts to, if they're going to be nudged together that extra little bit, then it'll allow them to go together a bit better. There we go. So I'll get on and get the other one done, and then I'll be back. Right, they're in now, so that's all done. And boy, oh boy, they're tight. So yeah, they take some pushing in, they do. They really, really do. And I think actually they need to go in a little bit further still even. So we will get there in the end. Wow, if we have to trim a bit off of them to fit the ailerons, that's what we'll have to do. But yeah, you're not going to see much of them anyway because the wings are going to be folded back. In fact, saying that, do they go that way? Yeah, I think the ailerons face down, don't they? I can't remember now. Do the ailerons face down or up? Well, they face up, so they will be quite visible, so we shall see. Right, so we've done all this now, and that's all saying for wings folded and flying and everything, and then we come over the page, and we're down to extended wings now, so we go past that, past that, past that, past that, and then we're on to here, the folder. As I said, we've done all this, we've done all that. No, we haven't glued the top of the wing on, and we've got to fit these actuators for the flaps. So we want these parts. Now what's beautiful here Airfix have done, I think it's really nice, P4, P5, P3, P4, P5, P3, so there's extended, there's retracted, so they've actually given us the part numbers actually on the parts themselves. So we're just going to check before we actually working on starboard first, so keep it all right. So 27 is 4, yep. 26 should be 3, yep, and 28 should be 5, yep. So that's where you start to get confused. If they tell you G28 is S3 and then you look on there and it's not, that's when you need to start doing a bit of test fitting and stuff like that to make sure you're all good. The other thing that's worth doing is these parts like these here that you're not going to use, it's best to get them off the sprue now while it's fresh in your mind, and then when the sprue is empty you can throw it away, put it in your recycling bin, whatever, and then you won't be hanging on to that sprue in the box wondering where these extra parts go because you're not going to use them. It's like all of this here, I'm not going to use any of that, so that can all go. I'm not sure what that is, but all that can go eventually. So we've got these off now, so we'll give them a quick clean up. I haven't used Airfix plastic for a long time, it's so soft. It's like just a couple of swipes and all the rubbish is gone. Bang, the dirt is gone. Anyway, let's get one of my Infinity sponges. This is a, can't see the number, this is a 1000. We'll just take off the mould seams. That's one of the beauties of having this soft plastic. The mould seam should come off really easily. There we go. So this one is S4, so this one's going in the middle. That's the right wing, yep, or the correct wing should I say. And they're going with the round part facing down. Again, they're a tight, oh no, they're not too bad at all. So they're going to sit in there like that. Let's grab my extra thin. And then this one is S3, which is the inner one. That's going in like that. And then this one is S5, which is the outer one. Got hair on there, it's from Jess I think. Go away hair. Oh no, it must be some static. That one's going in like that. There we go. And once again, I'll just make sure they're in, give them a little nudge. And then get rid of that hair, go away hair. This tape on here is all just to protect the surface, don't worry about that. So, leave that to dry, get the other side done, and then I'll be back. Okay, moving forward, they're all in. So now we need to, something I don't want to miss out is this little clear light that's going in here. Not exactly sure what it is. It may be for people above, or pilots above, to see that it's friendly aircraft. I don't know if you know, leave a comment below please, but it's actual light facing up in the wing surface. So I've got reference books and everything I could look at, but I know that people that know like to spread the knowledge, so I'm sure someone can tell me. And I'm going to glue this in here now so I don't lose it, because I took it off the sprue stupidly and I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to glue this in now so I don't lose it. Now really what I need to do is paint that in there, because what we're going to see is a big silver line, a big grey plastic line around the edge once we've done it. So I'm going to put this somewhere safe. In fact, I'll grab a piece of Tamiya tape. Here's some I prepared earlier, and I'm going to get that little clear lens and I'm going to tape it to the inside of the wing, and that way I won't lose it. And I'm going to paint the inside of that. I'm also going to have to paint the back of that silver once it's in. And also I want to paint this area here black, because when this goes together, well obviously with the wings folded, this is all going to be very exposed, and then down in there you've got a box section, so I'm going to pre-shade it black and then paint it the colour it needs to be. What I'm tempted to do, the same as I did with these wing root areas, I'll spray them green first and then I'll spray the sky colour afterwards, because I think I think in America they would have had it green and then sprayed it all afterwards. Now how thorough they were I don't know, but I'm going to sort of have some of the green showing through just for a bit of effect really, much like I've done here, and then I've had to go around and clean everything up, so I've got to start again on that really. But you can see here I've got the green showing through with the sky on the upper surface. It's just a bit of artistic license to add a bit of interest to the detail, to the area. So I'm going to clean these sprue nibs off. The other thing I'm tempted to do is glue the doors in before I glue the wings on, because then if there's any problems I can deal with it inside afterwards, rather than have to try and make the doors fit when there's a problem and you know there's an issue going on. Let me get all these sprue nibs off, get it all cleaned off, and we'll go from there. There we are, more painting done. So you can see I've got the black around there, and that is basically so that when you actually look at the model like this, say, so you're looking at it along the wing, you don't see grey plastic around the lens. So it's black in there now, and then I'll probably put some black felt tip around the lens as well, so you don't see that silvery edge. And then when it's in there, we'll paint the back of it silver, and that'll just stop us seeing through into the wing. I've also done the black around here and in here, and then gone over with that AK real colours, and it's bloody gorgeous. It's with the black behind, it's a lovely colour. So I'll be using that a lot more in future, I think. On its own it's too light I feel, but as that, this is just basically a back colour, it's just a backdrop for the sky to go in there, because obviously this is an FAA aircraft, so in here is all going to be painted with sky. But I reckon it would have been green first, and then they would have painted it in America before it was sent over, and you would still see green in the, you know, in the box sections and stuff. I don't think they would have painted the whole area green at the sky before it was assembled, and there's no way you would have got all in there with the paint. So you know, the green primer would have been fine. So and also it's worth noting on the fuselage, some pictures I found. Oopsie daisy, I've just chucked a copy on the floor. This bulkhead was green and this was sky. I noticed on one that was painted blue that all the skin in here was blue, all the framework was still the interior green, but the bulkhead was green. So it looks like they paint the skins before they fit them, because there's obviously no way a man's going to get up in there and paint it blue after it's all done. So something worth remembering, and something to discuss in the comments below. But there we go. So I need to get these glued into here now, and then we'll get the back of them painted silver, and then we're away. So I've brushed those on now, just put them in, brush some silver paint on the back of them, and as you can see now, when you look at them on the front, all nice and shiny, and you can't sort of see through into the wing. It's not ideal, maybe better to put something more chromy like behind there, but you know, it's the best we can do. And when the wing's folded up, I don't think it's going to really show. Yes it is, because it's on the top, isn't it? Whatever. Right, so now what I'm going to do is make sure I mask those up. I don't want to forget to mask them up and then start sanding and end up dulling them. So for this, I've got these masks here which come from this company here called Premium Hobbies, if you're in the UK, and they're really handy. There's all sorts of different circles. You can see here we've got small, which is 1 to 2.8 millimeters in 0.2 increments. And then we've got the medium here, which is 3 to 4.6, which is what I'm going to use here because they're like 3.4. Well, they're actually 3.3, so I'll use the 3.4 and then just push it down the edge. And then we've got the large, which is 4.8 to 6 millimeters, and then we've got the extra large, which is 6.2 to 7.6 millimeters. So I'm going to use these here, and as you can see on the back, it tells you what sizes are. So you've got this third lot down here, which is 3.4 millimeters, and there's 45 of them. So we'll just get these out. This is, you can see, the first time I've ever used them. So that's that lot there. Oh, I see. This will come away now. So you've got a clear backing on them. And also, if you're careful taking them out, you'll also have the inverse. So if you wanted to paint a round dot, then you could. So what this is saying, if I put that on there like that, so these here are 3.4. They're not sort of segregated at all. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the first at 3.4. So I just use the tip of my blade to try and get under it. And I'm being extra careful to take this out because I may want one day to use the female. And then I can just plonk that on there. I've got that slightly off center. Let's try better next time. Story of my life. There we go. And put that one on here. And then I'm going to grab a toothpick. Mr. Unprepared. Whoops, the whole box came open then. Grab a toothpick and just go around and shift it over and just go around and make sure the edge has gone down. There we are. Lovely. Now, one thing I will tell you, this is going to be weathered heavily because every picture I've seen of a Hellcat and FAA service, the paintwork is really heavily weathered. So I'm not really too worried about neatness and tidiness around this edge because it will probably be all chipped anyway where someone's had it apart to put a bulb in or whatever. But there we go. So you can see them now, and they are beautifully masked. Unless I've got that one. Yeah, I've got that one out, haven't I? There. I would normally do this under a magnifier, so that's why. In fact, I will get my magnifier out in a second and just get these right. But I've actually got that one way off. So I'll get that done on a magnifier. I'll see you in a minute. Here we go, guys. I ended up using the next size down to 3.2. You can see that I've made a couple of holes in there. They're actually 3.3, but it could be that these are just slightly oversized or something. But yeah, 3.4 was a bit too big. 3.2 seems to do it lovely. So whatever. I mean, if we use acrylic paints, we can go around with a cocktail stick and scratch the paint off anyway. However, these have got a ridged, if you look there closely, you can see they've got a ridged effect to them. So there we are. Job done. Right, so I think we'll call that a day for this video. It's been about half an hour, I think. So I think we'll call that a day. And then in the next part, we'll have these wings, get these wings all glued together. I think I'm going to put these hatches in first. Let's get all this out of the way without throwing anything across the floor like I just did with the cockpit, which was stupid of me. We've got these hatches to go in. I'm not going to worry about this cross brace or anything. I'm just going to glue those in so you can have them open with the wings folded, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to have them closed. This is going to be all closed up. We're also going to build up our flaps on our ailerons. But I'm tempted to put those in first. Although it might not be a good idea because when it all goes together, I think it's all quite tight how it all goes together. So you've got to do some manipulating about. If you remember, I'm talking 18 months ago. These ribs and everything all have to fit into these slots in the upper wing, and it's all a bit of sort of jiggery pokery and manipulation and lots of tape, and it's quite a job to get it all to fit together nicely from what I remember. And also it's quite easy to make mistakes on the wings as well. If you have if you haven't done these wings yet, go back and watch my previous videos, and I talk about assembling these gun bays and the pitfalls that you can come up against. But this is certainly, you can hear it all, it's all clicking together as we go. There we are, it's all together now. All together now. There we are. So yeah, it's quite a job, all those gun bays and everything in there. But it does go. You'll think the model's rubbish and it don't fit. Those bloody thing's a load of crap. It's unbuildable. It's not. It does fit. It's just that everything. It's all been designed on CAD, and when you've got CAD models, it all fits together beautifully. But if you get a slight bit of flash, or if the designer has got like a 6mm slot with a 6mm part, well, you all know you need some clearance. If there's been a bit of mold shrinkage, the slot's slightly smaller. You know, whatever, this is all so close and so tight that, you know, you need to really, really be careful with your fit. It's not a model you can throw together, this one, I can tell you that now. You really do have to take your time. But when you look at it at the end of the day, I mean, it is beautiful. You've got all that detail down in there. It is absolutely beautiful, you know, for an out-of-the-box kit. It's not often I praise Airfix, but this is really, really nice. I just wish, please Airfix if you're listening, I just wish they'd do a 24th scale Wildcat. And I wish Tamiya would do a 32nd scale Hellcat. And I wish Airfix would do a 24th scale Corsair. And then we'd have all our naval fighter aircraft from World War II needs sorted, wouldn't we? So, there we go. So I'm going to get those glued together in the next part. I won't leave you, I'll let you watch me do it. I won't do anything without you. And we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. I know you're all going to be glad to, or a lot of you are going to be glad to see this back on the bench. And next we're working on this, getting these wings glued together, get that all done. And then we're going to be doing some painting work on the cockpit. And then once we've got this all done and we can mock it up onto the fuselage, then we're really going to start pushing forward to get this engine done. I'm not going to be adding detail to this, you know, I've got my resin rocker covers and everything. I'm not going to be adding all that to this because, as I say, everything's going to be closed up. You're not going to see it. So I'm just going to pretty much build this out of the box with not really any added detail. As I say, just a bit of fine finessing here and a few little sort of extra little modelling bits rather than following the instructions. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, and part 8 will be up with you soon. Bye for now.